Hi, welcome to this video tutorial looking at the exam paper walkthrough for AQA GCSE Maths. It's the foundation tier. We're looking at paper 1, which is the non-calculator, and it's from the May 2020 series. So it was the year where exams were unfortunately cancelled due to the virus situation. Okay, these ended up being used for the November 2020 exams. Okay, so they are now released publicly on the AQA website, so feel free to check out the website and download this paper and have a go at these questions first before you press play or watch this full video tutorial. Okay, we're going to start with question number 1. Okay, answer all questions in the spaces provided. Question number 1. Here are some numbers. Okay, 5, 5, 8, 13, 14, 15, 17. Circle the range. The range is the biggest number. Take away the smallest number. So it's 17. Take away 5. Okay, it's the difference between the smallest number and the largest number. Okay, 17 take away 5 is 12. So I'm going to circle, okay, the number 12, which is option number 3. That's worth 1 mark. Question number 2. Circle the value of the digit in 256,934. Let's just put a comma there so we break up. Okay, when I say it out loud, 250,000, so it's 56,000. Okay, so the 5 represents the 50,000. Okay, 5 and then the rest are zeros. 5 and then 4 zeros is 50,000. That is worth 1 mark. This is question number 3. Work out -2 minus 5. So -2 subtract 5. So it's getting smaller. The answer we get is -7. Okay, so I'm going to circle -7. Okay, you start at -2 and then you're going 5 units to the left if you draw like a number line, so -7. This is question number 4. What is 680 millimeters in centimeters? Circle your answer. Well, millimeters to centimeters, I divide it by 10. So divide it by 10. Now, if it's got a 0, okay, I just take off one of the zeros essentially. So I get rid of one of the zeros. Okay, the answer I get is 68. Okay, there are 68 centimeters. Okay, for 680 millimeters. Okay. This is question number 5. I've got shape A and I've got shape B. Work out the area of shape A to the area of shape B. Give your answer in its simplest form. Okay, so the area of shape A, I can do it one of 2 ways. I can either count the squares or do the length times the width. Either way will give me the same answer. So let's just go ahead and count the squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So the area of shape A is 20. Okay, and then I'm going to put the 2 dots. Shape B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 20 to 12. And I can simplify that, okay, by dividing this ratio by 4. Okay, so I get 5 to 3. Okay, dividing this part by 4 and dividing this part by 4. Okay, when it says give your answer in its simplest form, it wants you to simplify the ratio. So it's deliberately worth 2 marks because in the mark scheme, if you put the answer 20 to 12, they will only award you 1 mark. Okay, you have to answer the question. So if it's asking for simplest form, you cancel down that ratio. Okay. Question number 6. Samir and Dan run a race. Samir finishes in 2.5 minutes. Dan finishes in 130 seconds. Complete the following sentence. Someone or someone wins by so many seconds. Okay, so 2.5 minutes. Let's just change that into seconds. So 1 minute is 60 seconds. So 2 minutes is 120. Half a minute is 30 seconds. So it's 180 plus 30. Okay. Zero plus 0 is 0. 8 plus 3 is 11. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so Samir finishes the race in 210 seconds, whilst Dan finishes it in 130 seconds. So Dan wins the race. Okay. And then I'm going to do 210, take away 130. Okay, and again I can use column subtraction. Okay. 0 take away 0 is 0. 1 take away 3 I can't do, so I exchange. I borrow from the hundreds column. That becomes a 1. That becomes 1 as well. 11 take away 3 is 8. And 1 take away 1 is 0. Okay. Sorry, I think I've made a mistake here. It should be 120, not 180. Sorry, I apologise for that, guys. That was actually my fault. I was wondering why it was giving me like a big answer. So 2 minutes is 120 seconds. Sorry. So 0, 5, and then it's just going to be 1 here, isn't it? Okay. So 150 seconds for Dan. Okay. Sorry, for Samir. Okay, but the first part is obviously still correct because Dan still finishes faster. However, the difference should be 20 seconds and not 80 seconds. Okay, so apologies for that, guys. That's why it's so important to take your time, okay, with this, okay? So the difference is 20 seconds, okay? 150, take away 130 is 20 seconds. This is part B. Alice does a sponsored walk. She starts from home on Monday at 8 a.m. So Monday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. She arrives back home 55 hours later. Work out when she arrives back home. Well, 55 hours. Okay, let's just change that into days. Okay. 24 hours per day, so 55 out of 24 is 2 days, okay, and then 55 take away 48 is 7, so it's 2 days and 7 hours, okay. So 2 whole days takes us to Wednesday at 8 o'clock, okay, so 2 days later. So it's Wednesday, and then I've got to add on 7 hours to 8 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so 8 a.m. and I'm going to add 7 hours. Okay. So 8 add 7 is equal to 15. So it's 1500 hours, okay? Or I can write it as 3 p.m. Either way is fine. So the day is going to be Wednesday, okay? And the time is either 1500, okay? Or 3 p.m. Okay? In this day and age, like, we usually deal with like 1500 hours, 1600 hours. Okay, so the idea is that 1300 hours is 1 p.m. and then it goes all the way to 2300 hours, which is 11 p.m. and then when it gets to midnight it resets and it goes to 0. Okay, 0000, and then it goes 1 a.m. 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m., etc., etc. Okay, but either answer would be sufficient. Okay, so I'll put a double arrow there. This is question number 7. Work out 43 times 8, subtract 234 divided by 6. Well, 43 times 8. So let's work out the bits in the bracket first and then subtract our answers. Okay, 3 times 8 is 24. So 4 carry the 2. 8 times 4 is 32. Add that 2 is 34. Okay, 234 divided by 6. Well, 6 into 2 I can't do. 6 into 23 is going to be 3. Okay, remainder 5. Okay, because 6 3s are 18. 18 to 23, I've got to add 5. 6 into 54 goes 9 times with 0 remainder. So it's 344. Take away 39. Okay. Keep the hundreds there. 44 take away 39 is 5. So the answer is 305. Okay. This is question number 8, guys. Here is some information by ticket type about the number of people visiting a cinema 1 week. Okay, so the box, so the window box represents 40 people. So each little box represents 10 people. Okay, part A. How many children visited the cinema? Well, you're going to have 40, 80, 120, 160. Okay, so 40 times 4 essentially to work out that sum. Okay, because you got 40 and then you times it by 4 sets of boxes. Okay, part B, how many more students than adults visited the cinema? Okay, now there's multiple ways that I could do this. What I could do is work out what the gaps are. So I could say, okay, well, how many windows am I like missing, or how many boxes I'm missing? I'm missing 1, 2 and half a box. Okay, so that's going to be 40, 80 plus this missing half. Okay, which is going to be 20. Okay, that's 40 and that's 40. Okay, so how many more? Okay, it would be 100. Okay, because 40 plus 40 plus 20. Okay, will tell me that extra bit that's added on to the students that's not on for the adults, if that makes sense. Okay. So this part has been added on, if that makes sense. Okay. To the adults, essentially. Okay. So that's the difference between the students and the adults. Or the alternative way is to count the number of adults, the number of students, and then take away one from another. Okay, but I thought this trick would be a bit easier, because what you're doing essentially is looking at the extra bits that were added to the students that weren't there for the adults, okay, to make it a bit quicker. This is part C. A bar chart is drawn to show the number of people visiting the cinema 1 month. So we got ticket type and we got number of people. Okay, we got number of people. Okay, and we got ticket type. Okay, give one criticism of the bar chart. Well, you could say that it's not labelled, okay, so it needs to be labelled as the x-axis and the y-axis, okay, so it's not actually labelled, okay, so it's not actually clear, okay, so y should be the number of people and x is your ticket type, okay, so you have to make sure that you label your x and y axis, okay, your axes, okay, this is the y-axis, this is the x-axis, okay, so that is one criticism there, guys, okay, so label your x and y axis, or axes, okay, label the letters, okay, x and y, okay. This is question number 9. Harry will pay income tax if he earns more than £12,500 in a year. After 8 months, he has earned a total of £7,600. For the rest of the year, he earns £1,200 each month. Will he pay income tax? You must show your workings. Okay, so For the first 8 months, he earns 7,600. For the rest of it, so the rest of the 4 months, he earns £1,200. So if I do £1,200 times that by 4 and then add it on to 7,600, okay, if that number is bigger than 12,500, then he does pay income tax. If it's smaller than or equal to that amount, then he doesn't pay income tax. Okay, 0 times 4 is 0, 0 times 4 is 0, 4 times 2 is 8, and 4 times 1 is 4. So adding this on to our current number, okay, so lining up our place value, 0 add 0 is 0, 0 add 0 is 0, 6 plus 8 is 14, so 4 carry the 1, 7 plus 4 is 11, plus that 1 is 12, so the answer that I get is £12,400, that's less than, okay, 12,500, okay, so he doesn't pay income tax, okay, because he is exactly £100 and a penny below the threshold, actually, okay, so I'm being technical here, it's technically 12,500.01, because obviously it has to be bigger than that amount, okay, so he's exactly £100 and a penny less, so the answer is no, okay, so he has to earn above that threshold for him to pay what we call income tax. Okay, so this is like a real life thing actually, yeah, and income tax is just something that goes towards like the local government, okay, and it's used for like government purposes, okay. Question number 10. X is a 2-digit whole number. How many digits does the number 10x have? Well, if it's 2 digits, okay, then 10 times the 2-digit number. Let's say the digit number is 21. I'm going to get 210. So the answer that I get is a 3-digit number. Okay. Essentially, okay, because you're always doing 10 times a 2-digit number, and that by times something by 10, it makes it into a 3-figure number. If it's a 2-digit number, actually, yeah, but for that one. This is question number 11, part A. Circle the answer to 50 times 0.2. Well, if I do 50 times 2, so let's just make it a bit easier there, I get the answer of 100, but I'm timesing it by 0.2, so I'm timesing it by 10 times the amount, so I'm going to divide this by 10, and I get the answer of 10, okay? So I'm timesing it by 2, but in theory, I'm actually multiplying it by 10 times less than the answer, okay, to my problem. So that answer is 10. Okay, by looking at place value. Part B, work out 3.65 divided by 4. Give your answer as a decimal. Okay, so using the bus stop method here, guys, very carefully. 5s into 3 I cannot do, so I'm going to put a 0, put a point there, carry the 3 for the 6. 5s into 36, or 0.36, okay, is going to be 7, remainder 1. 5s into 15, or 0.015, okay, is going to be 3, okay, so it's going to be 0.73, okay, for that question. This is question number 12. The Venn diagram shows information about 50 people who are in bands. S for singers, G for guitar players. How many people, or how many of the people are guitar players? So guitar is 21 plus 8, which is 29. Okay, so it's the whole of this circle here. Okay, so it's the whole of this circle. Okay, is 21 plus the 8. Okay, part B. How many of the people are singers but not guitar players? Well, the answer to that is 4. Okay, because it's 4 that's a part of this. Okay, so we're looking at this part here. Okay, Part C, guys. One of the people is chosen at random. Write down the probability that the person is not a singer and not a guitar player. So that's the number on the outside of my circle. So it's 17 out of a total of 50. So 17 out of 50. Or any equivalent answer. Okay, so or they will accept 0.34 or 34%. Okay, this is question number 13. Here is a parallelogram. The parallelogram is translated 4 squares to the left and 3 squares up. Draw the translated parallelogram. So 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 up. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. And obviously with my pencil and ruler, you would obviously join this up. Okay. So that is my answer. So 4 to the left and 3 squares up. Now you may see this written in like a vector notation. This means the same thing. So if it has a vector -4 -3, that also means, sorry, -4 3, that also means the same thing. It means the x direction and then the y direction. Okay, so be careful, yeah, because in the exam they may write it in a vector notation rather than write it in words as x amount of units to left and then y up. Okay, so it might be expressed in a vector notation. Question number 14a. Solve this equation. Well, if I add 11 to both sides of my equation to balance it respectively, okay, I get 6x is equal to 24. Okay, dividing both sides by 6, I get that x is equal to 4. Okay, 24 divided by 6 is equal to 4. Okay, this is question 14b, guys. Simplify fully this expression. So it looks pretty nasty. Let's break it down actually. Let's work out this bit and then this bit. So 2 times 4a is 8a. Okay, so let's follow BIDMAS here. Brackets first. Okay, plus 9. Okay, plus 15a divided by 3. Well, that gives me 5a. Okay, subtract 7. Okay, I'm now going to collect my like terms. 8a plus 5a simplifies to 13a. And then 9 take away the 7 is positive 2. So I get 13a plus 2. Okay, so these are my like terms, the a's, and then my numbers are my other like terms. Okay, so this is collecting like terms, guys. This is question number 15. A pyramid has a square base. Each of the 4 sloping edges has a length of 10 centimeters. The total length of all 8 edges is 68 centimeters. Work out the area of the square base. Well, so the edges are what I call the corners. So it has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So it has a total of 6 edges, I believe. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The other edge, okay, will be like, yeah, so I think I've actually like missed the edge somewhere. So there should be 6 edges. Okay, so 6 corners. Okay. It's probably like a back corner that I haven't seen. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay? So it's got 6 edges. So the slanted edges, okay, are 10 centimeters. I've got 4 slanted edges. Okay, there we go. So that is what I meant to say. So I've got 4 slanted edges. So 10 times 4 is 40. Okay, if I do 68, take away the 40, because then it would tell me the lengths of this square base. Okay, of 40. Okay, 68 take away 40 using column subtraction. 8 take away 0 is 8. 6 take away 4 is 2. So the perimeter of this square is now 28 centimeters. Okay, and if I split that into 4 parts, because each length is the same, if I do 28 divided by 4, that will tell me the value for x, okay, by 4, and I get 7 centimeters. So the length of each square base is 7 centimeters. Okay, 7 times 7 works out the area of the square base. Length times width, or length times length. 7 times 7 is 49, and it's centimeters squared because that's area. Okay, that's 49. This is question number 16. The table shows information about how 150 students travel to school. Walk, bus, car, girls and boys. Part A. What fraction of the girls walk to school? Okay, so it's out of 72 here because we're looking at total number of girls. Walk to school, girls, is 22. Okay, and if I simplify this, divide top and bottom by 2, I get 11 out of 36. Okay, so give you your answer in its simplest form. 1 mark is awarded for writing down 22 out of 72. The second mark is given for simplifying the fraction. So make sure that you always check that we are answering the question, okay, carefully. Okay. Part B, one of the boys is chosen at random. Okay, so it's out of a total of 78. Okay, what is the probability that the boy travels to school by bus? Well, it's 41, okay, out of 78. Okay, now we are going to need this table, okay, for the next part. Okay, so part C, which is the next part, says what percentage of the 150 students travel to school by car? Okay, so that's going to be 17 plus 13. Okay, so 17 plus 13 out of a total of 150. Okay, and then we multiply this fraction by 100 to convert a fraction into a percentage. Okay, 17 plus 13 is 30. I get 30 over 150 times by 100. Well, I can simplify this fraction before I even times it by 100. So 30 out of 150 in its simplest form is actually 1/5. Okay, 1/5 multiplied by 100. Okay, 100 divided by 5. Okay, I get the answer of 20. Okay, so 20% of the students, okay, of the total number of students travel to school by car. Okay, this is question number 17. A straight line passes through the origin 0, 0 and 2, 6. Circle the equation of the line. Okay, so I've got the coordinates here, 0, 0. So I've got to first of all work out the gradient and then the y-intercept. So it's in the form y is equal to mx plus c, where m is my gradient and c is my y-intercept. Okay, so it's the difference in the y-coordinate divided by the difference in the x-coordinate, okay, to work out the gradient. So it's rise over run, we say. So it's a change in y divided by the change in x. Well, it's going down by 6, okay, from 0 to 6, and then it's going across 2, okay. So it's going across 2 and up 6, okay, from the origin. 6 divided by 2 is 3. So the gradient is equal to 3. So it's y equals 3x. Okay, it passes through the origin, which is 0, 0. Therefore, the y-intercept is plus 0. But we don't need to write the plus 0. So the answer is just y is equal to 3x. So circle option number 3. This is question number 18a. Work out 110% of 80. Well, 100% of 80 is just itself. So 100% of 80 is just 80. 10% of 80 means I divide it by 10. So 10%, okay, will be equal, sorry, it should be 80 there, not 8. 10% will be equal to 80 divided by 10, which is 8. Okay, 110% will be 80 plus 8, which is 88. Okay, this is essentially a percentage increase question. If you take 110% of something, you are essentially adding on an amount to the original amount to, which is 80. Okay, so your answer will be bigger because you're essentially multiplying by a decimal equivalent of 1.1. Okay, so another way of working it out is I could have done 80 multiplied by 1.1, and that would have also given me the same answer, okay, which is 88. Okay, this is part B. Work out 21 as a fraction out of 12. So 21 out of 12. Okay, circle your answer. Well, it's a top-heavy fraction, so these two I'm going to ignore. Okay, what are my common factors of 21 and 12? I can divide it by 3, and I get 4 on the bottom and 7 on the top. So I get 7 quarters, okay? Not 4/3, okay? This is question number 19. Bags X and Y each contain counters. Bag X has 30 counters, okay? Each counter is green, white, or yellow. Bag Y has 5 counters, 3 green and 2 red. Part A. The probability of getting a green counter from X equals the probability of getting a red counter from Y. Work out the number of green counters, okay, in X. Okay, so the probability of a red counter from Y, okay, so that'll be 2 out of 5, won't it? It'll be 2/5. Okay. From Y. Okay, let's just delete this mini bracket here. Okay. Is going to equal to 2 out of 5. Okay, because I've got 2 reds out of a total of 5. I've got 2/5. Okay, now it's saying that the probability of green counters from X equals this. So if I work out 2/5 of 30, that will tell me how many green counters I will have in bag X. Okay, so it's a fraction of an amount, so I divide by the denominator times by the numerator. 30 divided by 5 is 6, double of 6 is 12. Okay, so there are 12 green counters, okay, in that bag. Okay, this is part B. All 35 counters are put into one bag. One counter is picked at random. Okay, work out the probability that the counter is not red. Well, if it was red, okay, just obviously I was saying, so the probability of having a red counter, okay, that would still stay fixed as 2 out of 35 because there aren't any red counters in bag X, so it'd be 2 out of a total of 35. So the probability that the counter is not red, okay, well, it's 1 whole, take away 2/35. Okay, now I get an answer of 33 over 35. Okay, because this comes from the idea that the probability of an event happening plus the probability of that same event not happening has to equal 1. Okay, so the probability that I get a red counter is 2 out of 35. That means the probability that the counter is not red, well, the remaining counters in the bag will be 33 out of 35. Okay. This is question number 20. A and B are scatter graphs. What type of correlation is shown by the scatter graph, or each graph, sorry? Choose from these. Okay, so A, okay, is what we call strong negative. Okay, so I'm just going to put an arrow there rather than write it out. B is what I call no correlation. Okay, so 1 mark is given for each correct answer. So no correlation for B and strong negative for A, because I can draw like one line of best fit here. Here I can't draw any line of best fit because everything's scattered all over the place. Okay. This is question number 21A. All the terms of a geometric progression are positive. The second and fourth terms are shown. Some number 4, some number 16. Work out the first and third terms. Well, geometric means that I'm multiplying by something. Now, seeing as the numbers are getting bigger, okay, if I do 16, so the fourth term divided by the second term, okay, that would tell me that I'm jumping 2 steps. Okay, so that 4, okay, essentially means 2 jumps, okay, or 2 steps. Okay, so if I want to work out how much 1 jump is, well, 1 jump will be times by 2, okay, because 2 jumps I'm times it by 4. Each 1 jump, or each single, okay, jump, and times it by 2. So 16 divided by 2, or 4 times 2 is 8. And then here, 4 divided by 2 is 2. So the first term is 2, and the third term is 8. So geometric means that I am multiplying by a fixed amount, okay, each time. Whether it's an integer or a fraction, okay. I'm either multiplying by a whole number, or I'm multiplying by a fraction. If I'm timesing by a positive integer, it means it's getting bigger. If I'm timesing by a fraction, it means it's getting smaller. Okay, this is part B. The first 2 terms of an arithmetic progression are shown. P, 5p, and then the next one, okay, we will work out in a second. The sum of the first 3 terms is 90. Work out the value of p. Well, I'm going up by 4p each time, okay? I'm adding on 4p each time. So it's going up 4p each time, okay? That's my linear progression. Okay, we don't know what p is yet, but our job is to work out what p is. It says that the sum of the first 3 terms is 90. So p plus 5p plus 9p has to equal 90, okay, by definition, because the sum of the first 3 terms equals 90. Okay, rearranging the left hand side here, so collecting like terms. 1 plus 5 is 6, 6 plus 9 is 15, so 15p is equal to 90. I've got an equation here that I can just solve a 1-step equation now, dividing both sides by 15, because 15p means 15 times p. So dividing both sides by 15, I get that p is equal to 6. Okay, 90 divided by 6, 90 divided by 15 is 6, sorry. Okay, this is question number 22. This formula converts temperature in degrees Fahrenheit to, Fahrenheit F to Kelvin. So this is the formula here. A pottery oven is heated at 2192 degrees Fahrenheit. Work out the temperature in Kelvin. So I'm substituting F equals 2192 into my equation. So K is equal to 5/9 of 2192. Take away 32, and then I'm going to add on 273. So I've got to follow BIDMAS here. Okay, so I'll work out the bit in the bracket first, then I'll multiply it by 5/9, and then I'll add on 273 at the end. Okay, so the bit in the bracket is going to give me 2160, okay, by column subtraction. Okay, I've got to work out 5/9 of that, okay, and then add on 273. So we're going to do a bit of bus stop here. Divide this number by 9 and then times it by 5. Okay, 2160 divided by 9. 9's into 2 I can't do, so it's 0. 9's into 21 is 2, remainder 3. 9's into 36 is 4, remainder 0. 9 into 0 is 0. So 240, I times that by 5. Okay. Now, one way I could do it is times it by 10 and then divide it by 2, which I'm going to do that method. Okay, so times it by 10 is 2,400, and then divide it by 2 is 1,200. And then I've got to add on 273 to my answer, okay, using column addition. 0 plus 3 is 3, 0 plus 7 is 7, 2 plus 2 is 4, and then 1 plus nothing is 1. Okay, so it's 1,473 degrees Kelvin. Okay, this is question number 23. As a decimal, 11/40ths is 0.275. Work out 33 out of 400 or 33/400ths as a decimal. Well, let's say that I want to work out 11 out of 400 using this, okay? So I'm going to make it 10 times smaller, okay? So it's 0.0275, okay? I want to work out 33 lots of this, so I'm going to times this number by 3, okay? 0.0275. I'm going to multiply that by 3. 5 times 3 is 15, 5 carry the 1, 3 times 7 is 21, add the 2 is 22, carry the 2, 3 times 2 is 6, add the 2 is 8, 3 times 0 is 0, and then 3 times 0 is 0 again. So it's 0.0825. Okay, so this topic here is testing your knowledge of place value or place values involving decimals. What I've done here is I've divided everything by 10 essentially. Okay, so I've divided the decimal by 10 to get 0.0275, and then I've multiplied this fraction by 3 because I want 33 out of 400 and not 11 out of 400. Okay, so that's my answer for that question. Okay, this is question number 24. Okay, the cost of a holiday is £2,400. Rana pays a deposit followed by monthly payment in the ratio deposit to monthly payment in 3 to 5. She makes 6 equal monthly payments. Okay, work out the cost of her monthly payment. Okay, so let's just use sharing in a given ratio to work out our answer. So we're going to add together our ratio parts. 3 plus 5 is 8. Okay, 2,400 divided by 8 will tell us how much each one part is worth. Divide that by 8, I'm going to get £300, which equals to 1 part. Okay, that means the total of the monthly payment is 5 parts. So I'm going to multiply this number by 5. 300 times 5, well, 3 times 5 is 15, and then add on the 2 zeros, I get 1,500. Okay, so hopefully you are with me so far, guys. Sorry if I'm going a bit speedily here, I do apologise. Okay, but feel free to start rewatch it or rewind if you need to. Okay, I'm now going to divide this number by 6, okay, because I'm splitting it into 6 equal installments, okay, monthly installments. 6 into 1 I can't do. 6 into 15 is going to be 2, remainder 3, okay. 6 into 30 is going to be 5, and then 6 into 0 is 0. So the answer is £250. Okay. This is question number 25, guys. Factorize fully 2x squared plus 6x. So fully means take out all the common factors, okay, where possible. So I've got an x squared and an x, so I can take out an x straight away. The highest common factor of 2 and 6 is actually 2. So remember that factor means number or numbers that go into that other number, okay, without giving a remainder. 2x times x is 2x squared, and 2x times positive 3, okay, is equal to positive 6x, okay. So 1 mark will be awarded for taking out an x or taking out a 2, okay, one of each, and the second mark is awarded for taking out the full factor, okay, which is 2x. Okay, 2x is the highest common factor that goes into both 2x squared and 6x without giving a remainder. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. But if you're not fully happy with this, then I have got some videos looking at factorizing your like expressions. Okay, but you might want to revise it here and revisit what I mean by the word factor or factors. Okay, because that will help us get the answer. This is question number 26, guys. Two wire shapes make an earring. The shapes are a circle with radius 21 millimeters and a quarter circle. The radius of the circle to the radius of the quarter circle is 7 to 2. Show that the radius of the quarter circle is 6 millimeters. Well, I've got 7 to 2 here. Okay, the radius of the circle is 21. Okay, 7 times 3 is 21, and 2 times 3 is 6, okay, which is the radius of the quarter circle. Okay, so we've shown that for the first part. Okay. Right, guys, this is part B. Work out the total length of the wire of the earring. Give your answer in the form a pi plus b, where a and b are integers. Let's do like a rough sketch here. So it looks something like this, okay? And it's got like a little like earring bit here, but it's like a quarter, okay? Not a half here. It should be a quarter that is actually shaded here, okay? Let's just delete that and make it look a bit more like the other one, okay? So it looks something like that, okay? Now we are given that the radius of this circle is 21 centimeters, okay? And the radius of this is 6 centimeters. Okay, we are essentially working out the perimeter, so everything around. So if you follow like the green line actually, so we're working out the area of everything around that. Okay, essentially is what we're doing. So if we work out the circumference of this circle, so the circumference is pi times diameter, or 2 times pi times the radius, and this does appear on your formula sheet for the 2022 exams, okay, times 21, okay, so that's going to equal to 42 pi, okay, centimeters, okay, so that's the first part, okay. This has a radius of 6. This has a radius of 6. So the perimeter of this quarter circle will be pi times 6 divided by 4. Okay, because that will give me what this perimeter of this quarter arc is essentially. Because it's a quarter of a circle. Okay. So I'm going to have 6 over 4 pi, okay, centimeters, okay, which if I want, I'm going to simplify to make it a bit easier. That's going to be 3/2 pi centimeters, or it can be 1.5, okay, either way is fine, okay. I'll put it here as 1.5 here, just to obviously help us out, okay, 1.5 pi centimeters, Okay, so our total perimeter, our total length of the wire, which is the perimeter around the whole shape, okay, is 42 plus 1.5 plus, don't forget, 6 plus 6. So it's 6 plus 6 is 12. So it's 12 plus 43.5 pi, okay, centimeters, because 42 pi plus 1.5 pi is 43.5 pi. So your final answer is 43.5 pi, okay, plus that 12, okay. Now, I've just looked here actually, and I've just realised that the answer we get here, so A should actually be an integer, okay. So it's because I forgot to times it by 2, that's why. Okay, so here I should actually get just 3 pi here. Okay, again, I've made a mistake here, guys, so I apologise. Okay, so I shouldn't meant to get an answer of 3 and not 1.5. Okay, because I forgot to times the radius by 2. 2 times 6 is 12 times pi, so I'm going to get 3 pi. Okay, so now if I add it together, I get 45 pi, which is a whole number, which is an integer. So 45 pi plus 12 centimeters. Okay. This is question number 27, guys. Use trigonometry to work out the size of angle X. While labeling my sides, this is the opposite because it's opposite angle. This is adjacent, and this is hypotenuse, which is the name of the longest side of my right angle triangle, okay, because it's directly opposite the right angle. Okay, that's opposite my angle there. Adjacent means next to my angle, so I've got adjacent and hypotenuse, so I'm going to be using the cosine, okay, from SOHCAHTOA. So cosine of my angle is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, so 9 over 18. So cos of x is equal to a half, because 9 over 18 simplifies to a half. Okay, now this is where we've got to remember our exact trig values. So you are expected to remember your exact trig values. So x is equal to 60. So cos 60 is actually equal to a half. Okay, so this topic is revising your knowledge of SOHCAHTOA and also exact trig values. Now, if you don't remember your exact trig values, then I would recommend watching one of my videos on this, or watching a video on how they derive the exact values this year. But you're required to know sine, cos and tan of 0, 30, 45, 60 and 90, I believe, of each one. So you have to actually remember those actually off the top of your head, ever. Which I do appreciate. It is a bit frustrating because it is a lot to actually remember. But I would recommend watching a video from either Corbett Maths or the GCSE Maths tutor, or even Hegarty Maths, on exact trig values. Okay, so this topic also relates to exact trig values. But I have done a video on this, I believe, as well. So I will try and link that in the description, just to obviously help you out. Okay. Okay. This is question number 28. Rearrange C equals D plus 2 over 3 to make D the subject. So what it's saying is I want to get D by itself. So I want D equals something. So I'm going to times both sides by 3 first of all. Okay. C times 3 is 3C is equal to D plus 2. Okay. I'm then going to subtract 2 on both sides of my equation or formula. 3C subtract 2 is equal to D. So the answer is D is equal to 3C subtract 2. Okay. This is question number 29A. Write 360,000 in standard form. So it's a number between 1 and 10. So it's 3.6 times 10 to the power of something. Now, because it's a big number, this power is going to be positive. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, decimal points or places from here to here. So it's 5 jumps. So it's 3.6 times 10 to the 5. Part B, which is the last question of today's paper. Okay, write 9.2 times 10 to the minus 3 as an ordinary number. Well, the minus makes it a decimal. So it's going to be 0. And then it's 0.0092, I believe. Okay, so I'm moving it 3 places. 1, 2, 3. Okay, sorry. So it should be 0.092. There we go. Okay, so I'm moving it 3 places to like the to like the left, the decimal point. I mean, okay, or moving the numbers, yeah, like to the right. Sorry. Yeah, moving the numbers, yeah, to like the left, essentially. Okay, so if I just check here, 1, 2, 3, it is 3 jumps, so that does confirm that my answer is correct. Okay, because you are essentially dividing it by 1,000. Because if you think about 10 to the minus 3, what does that actually mean? It means 1 over 10 cubed, which is 1 over 1,000. Okay, so it means 1 over 10 cubed, which equals 1 over 1,000. Okay, so you're essentially multiplying 9.2 by 1 over 1,000. So you're doing 9.2 divided by 1,000, essentially in theory. Okay, to help you understand this like negative indice. Okay, so I'm moving it 1, 2, 3 places. So I'll put a point there. I'll put my zeros, 0, and then 0 there, and then just delete this decimal point here, and that's how I confirm my answer. Okay, right guys, that is the end of today's first paper for the AQA Foundation tier for the summer 2020 exams. Okay, if you did find this useful, please hit that like button, please press that subscribe button, and lastly, please click that bell icon so you don't miss out on further videos and further uploads as we approach this time of year and approach the exam season, which is happening in a month's time. At the time of obviously recording this, exams will be starting exactly a month today. Okay, but that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Okay, paper 2 and paper 3 will hopefully come out later in this week, okay, or later in the week, okay, or on the weekend. Okay, so make sure that you are subscribed here and stay up to date, okay, and make sure that you read my community posts, okay. But please do feel free to share this video with anyone that might benefit, for anyone doing exams this summer or even next summer or even later in the year in November. Okay, but that's it for me today, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care, stay safe, stay healthy, enjoy the remainder of your Easter break, okay, and I'll catch up with you very, very soon. Bye-bye for now.